do you think the employee employer power balance is out of whack, as in it's like too much power to the employee, or do you still think that like kind of harmony needs to be maintained, if that's even a relevant question?
No, it is. It's funny you mentioned that because I've talked about this quite a bit recently. I think during and post pandemic, it was probably 90% in the hands of employees and 10% in the hands of organizations. I think a realistic and better balance should be 70% in the power of organizations, or even 80% for organizations, and 20 to 30% maybe for employees. And that's because if you think about it, it's the organization that is taking the risk. The organization is paying you your salary, your compensation, your benefits. They're paying for the space in which you work. They're paying for the utilities. They're paying for the cleaners who might be there. They're paying for the food that if it's in the office. They're paying for everything. They're paying for, and they're taking the risk of investing in products and services. So yes, by all means, they should have more power and more say because they are the ones that are doing the building, the creation, the investing. And now it doesn't mean that you should ignore employees. It doesn't mean that you should be a jerk. It doesn't mean that you should take credit for your employees' work or berate them or not be kind. I'm not saying that. But at the same time, you need to understand that work is about mutually beneficial value exchange. The leaders should create a condition where you can do your best work, where you can thrive, where you can feel like you can speak up, where you have learning and growth opportunities. All of that stuff is true. But should an employee have as much voice and say as the direction of the company, or on policies, or on guidelines, or as the work that they want to do as much as the organization or the leaders? Absolutely not. That's insane. That's crazy. That's like in my house, right? You have two kids. I have two kids as well, a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old. When it comes time for dinner, if my kids say they want ice cream and cookies, is this going to be some sort of like a democratic vote in my house? Absolutely not.